Let's move on to the last team, the Tennessee Titans. Adam, a team, again, I feel like it's a sort of a running theme of this AFC is like a team that you think is going to do well, sometimes as well, maybe gets. I always feel like I underplay the Titans. I always feel like I don't think they're going to do as good as they usually do because I just don't sometimes see the spark sometimes. But obviously this year, no Derrick Henry. Obviously a huge miss for the team. Where do you see this? This is a big transition. It's going to be Will Levis's full year starting, we assume. So it's going to be a big year for the Titans.
Yeah, I think transition's the right word for them. Mike Vrabel's gone as well, of course. So you've got Brian Callahan in at head coach. They got to win some away games. They went 1-7 away last year. That needs sorting out. But yeah, Ryan Tannehill's gone. Will Levis is the main guy. Derrick Henry's gone. You got some good players like Terrell Edmonds, Sean Murphy-Bunting. They've gone as well. When you look at who they brought in, obviously L'Jarius Sneed, great addition for them at corner, and Awuzie as well at corner. I think that's another one who's going to do really well for them. Calvin Ridley, so you've got yourself an extra wide receiver along with Hopkins. And in the draft, I think they did pretty well in the draft, actually. I thought J.C. Latham was a good pick for them. T'Vondre Sweat is not a bad guy to have as your inside defensive line. You just got to keep him fit. But I think that, as your round 1 and 2 picks, I think it's decent. I think they've made improvements. I just think that there's probably a lack of depth there for them to be able to do anything major. They went 6-11 last year. I think 8 is probably a good season. If they can get 8 wins this year, I think they've done well. They're not in it for the win this year, like as in to win the division. It's not. I don't think it's gonna be able to be done. So that they've got to look at it as though it's the first year under a brand new head coach. I know Levis played last year, but I think you've got to look at him as though first opportunity for the whole season as your quarterback. And you've got some good weapons there. So I think that they can do something. I just think that it's probably transition time for them.
Scott, do you think it's sort of, or do you think there's a lot of pressure for Will Levis on this season? Because he was decent last year. You have to admit he was a lot better than I think people thought he was going to be.
Yeah, it was, and I think we were all happy for him in a way, considering what had happened on the draft night. It was nice to see. I think there's because there is no Mike Vrabel and because there's no Derrick Henry and it's a small market. In terms that people forget about that. Like the Titans. It's not if he was a quarterback in New York, you one and done season wise, even if you're not to blame. So I think he's in a good spot to develop.
How does Daniel Jones survive then?
Yeah, I don't. Well, I guess it helps when the owner, for some reason, I don't know, he's got shares in him. Can you have shares in people now? Yeah, it's a good spot for him to be in. And the thing that I find interesting is that when we talk about the good teams, and I think everyone's guilty of this, you're always trying to find things, not to talk them down, but you're trying to temper the expectations. But with the Titans, I mean, like Adam said, they're not going to get more than 8 wins. I think I had them at like 6 wins. We're trying to look at the positives, and the positives for me are, I think a lot of people are focused on the money they spent on Calvin Ridley's contract, but he's a good player. That's exactly what a young quarterback needs, is a reliable receiver. Tony Pollard, yes, he had a bad year in Dallas, but as a replacement, I mean, no one's going to come in and replace Derrick Henry. So talent-wise, it's not a bad guy to bring in. The corners Adam spoke about, they've also got Jarvis Brownlee from what I saw at Louisville, a good young corner. So they could be a typical Titans team that would be, defensively solid. They're going to keep them in games, but realistically, when they play the better teams, they might lose a lot of games by, say, 1 score and finish the year 6-11. But I think they'll be competitive, and I think they're putting building blocks in place for, as you both said, a transition season.
Right. Well,
yeah, I mean, I've got their floor as 5. It could if it goes wrong, it could really go wrong, sort of thing. And so they could really struggle. But they definitely, like I say, it's transition for them.